I think the biggest change you're going to have is that eating at home.
When you're cooking mutton, why don't you boil the mutton and pour out the fat first? When you're cooking santan, let's say you're doing curry and everything, right? Try to pour santan once the flame is off at the very end, so that all that santan doesn't turn into a fat. One restaurant deals with thousands of consumers. And if this one restaurant could change, that could change thousands of people's diet. Tweak the way you cook so it becomes a healthier option.
What's up everyone? Sekali lagi, selamat datang ke Lesung Batu Medic Show, program kesihatan yang kita bawakan melalui saluran-saluran YouTube, TikTok, Facebook dan sebagainya. Jangan lupa like and subscribe. Hari ini kita nak bincangkan satu discussion bersama satu doktor yang bagi saya agak terkenal di kalangan komuniti masyarakat India. Bersama saya hari ini Dr. Kalai. Dr. Kalai, welcome to Lesung Batu Medic Show.
Hi Dr. Ronald, thank you so much for inviting me. So really excited hari ini nak share a lot of things.
Okay, thank you so much. Dr. Kalai is daripada company Nutrilavish.
Yes.
Okay, Doctor, let's jump into the story straight away. Doktor datang daripada background yang very unique.
Yeah.
I saw your CV, very illustrative CV. You went to China to study medicine.
True.
Okay, can you just share sedikit your China's journey?
Okay.
And I mean your experience there, learning Mandarin and learning the syllabus, society, lifestyle and everything, and then what happened after that?
Okay, that long story short lah, because it's like a whole 6 years of journey there. But why I choose to go to China despite of all the places? You know, I did apply to a lot of places. I wanted to go to Russia. At that moment, Russia was like the most popular destination.
I went there lah.
Nice. But the cost was just so crazy, and then the JPN loan and all that thing was going on. So on that contrary, because I studied in Thai college, so most of my the batchmates and everyone were moving to China to study. And for me at that point of time, the way I looked at China, you know, the drama, the classic drama, how the China would be like, you know, all the ancient clothes and everything. I thought that's how China should be like, you know. And then after like few months struggle of getting a right proper university or the right support for the finance, and then my friend said, hey, why not you just apply and see to China. And I did apply, and then I got one of the, I'm really sorry.
Okay, let me. Okay,
okay?
don't worry. Okay, action.
So I got accepted in one of the public university in Hangzhou, Zhejiang University of Hangzhou. And then the other biggest news was that it was fully taken care of. It means like full scholarship. And my family was not even B40, it was beyond. Below B40. So for them, it was like a breakthrough. Okay, at least you can study medicine and also everything is taken care of. You know, as long as my passion was taken care of and financially, I will be also supported. So that's why my whole journey started. And then I did have a lot of questions like, how will I come back here? Will I need to sit for the exam? Will that exam be harder? And when I called the MMC, they said that as long as the university is WHO recognized, you know, I can come back here and sit for the exam. And I checked, yes, the university was, you know, recognized. And then I went there. When I went there, I was so shocked that it was not ancient China.
You watched too much of Destiny or Dynasty series.
So everything was like so modernized, but then they have never seen colored people. Okay. And other than yes or no, they do not know any other English word. Yes, no, that's it. And I didn't know any Mandarin. Even though I was studying in the medicine faculty in Zhejiang University, and that faculty is for foreigners.
So it's taught in English?
Everything was taught in English. But outside that faculty, literally nobody spoke any English. So for the entire 3 months, I had like monkey language. Whenever I want to eat, like I want this, I want that, I'm hungry, you know, I'm thirsty, I have to use body language. But the university made a mandatory compulsory where we have to study Mandarin. So I pick up my language and all that. But being in China taught me two things. One, I learned a lot. I was culture shocked because before that I've never stepped out of Malaysia.
That was your first exit.
First exit and to the extreme. First exit and to the extreme. And I'm like, everyone is yellow, you know. everyone is yellow. They can spot me from very far. It was like that. But I enjoyed and how much they have welcomed, foreigners. Like here, I've seen that when people from Bangladeshi or anywhere come to Malaysia, how we treat them and how China was treating me. I was like so special for them, and they look at me like I'm someone that came to their country to survive. And the value of the way they put me is so high. They have welcomed me, and I have learned their culture. I've learned the way they go about their food. I learned the way that they go about with the family, It was a lot of learning in that 6 years. That's number one. Number two is that what I learned is that since I was there and financially was supported by the college, but I still need to eat and everything. So I had to find a way to work.
Okay.
I have to find it. So I did my TESOL to work as a teacher, part-time teacher over there, an English teacher. And it was so demanding. Job was so demanding. So, but then I started with 3,000 salary, Malaysian salary. That was my first big salary.
That's bigger than any houseman being paid here.
So, but then I started that, and it means like I will finish my college at 3:15. My work will start at 4:30 until 11 at night. So it was going like that. But then from one place I was working, from there I started to learn trading, trading metals to Malaysia. And so my entrepreneur skills started there, rather than just to survive, to eat, because the country was so welcoming. If the country was so shady and they were, looking down at me or downgrading me, it would definitely be harder for me to move. Where I feel like a lot of people from Indonesia and Bangladesh come here, they have that struggle. But China was so open-hearted, like they opened their arms and they welcomed me, and that made me have the confidence to create a lot of opportunities there. So I started trading. I started my company, Grow Bright Senayan Berhad, which I have right now. That I've started trading metals and hardware and everything while I was working as a teacher and was studying as a medical student.
How do you juggle all of this in its medical school?
That is one thing Malaysia taught us.
Okay.
Because we are so multicultural and multiracial. We have so many. We don't have one festive to celebrate. We have 3 festivals to celebrate. We are always everywhere.
That's like multitasking.
Yeah, we are like born multitaskers, and that they see that and they love me more because they give so much gratitude for people who work hard, and then so fast from making 3,000, I grew so big until my paycheck for a month is 80,000 ringgit. Wow. Yes.
And this was there. At that point, did you think about maybe let's say bye-bye to medicine and...
No. Why? Is because medicine was always been my passion, not a place I see I can make money. That was a sad truth. But it was more over my passion, But then because I was in China, I see opportunities of making money. And being a B40 family here, I know that the need of financial growth. But then my passion was still there to help people and to be with people that need it, in medical world. So I was juggling everything. Everything was happening there. And then when I finished, when I realized that maybe being a doctor is not for me. Did you? Yes. When I finished my medicine and then I went to clinical. When I was doing my clinical, because China was so overpopulated, one doctor, even a housemanship doctor, have to see 350 patients.
A day?
A day.
And how many hours do you have to work?
12.
Okay. So that's like how many patients an hour? 20 patients.
I know, right? And it was so I felt like I'm not a doctor here. And when I see doctor, it means I see a person who is very knowledgeable. I see that a patient come to us, look at us as a savior, where a savior's job is not just to prescribe medicine.
Yeah, absolutely right.
That realization came only then, where I became like a robot. Literally, I had an assistant. She knows exactly why they are coming for, and I just need to type in the medication. There's no 你好吗? 你痛吗? 哪里痛? 你说 I can't even say those things. Because she already recognized what's the problem. So I'm just typing here. I'm like, I study all this. Why? Just to type? So that gave me a whole breakthrough. And then at 2017, I said that the Nutrilavish born.
Okay,
So
2017. 17. You were here or you were there?
I was there.
Okay.
I was there. And then my dad, because at that point of time, my dad was doing Amway very actively. And then he had this all, people was taking protein and everything. So he will, every time I'm here in Malaysia, he will ask me to give me this lifestyle seminar, lifestyle diet coaching and all that. So I started that under Nutrilavish. So Nutrilavish was purely non-profitable organization, was giving a speech and talks about food and diet.
And you're doing it like online or you doing it?
I was at that time offline. Every time I come here.
Okay.
And then
So you
we
fly in
started.
to
Yeah,
come?
I was flying and coming in over here. Like at that point of time, I also worked with some of my friends who were doctors, and also I had my friends under biochemist, and then I also have a lot of manufacturers because I was doing trading. So with this connection, we developed products, a natural based product that can help people with diet.
Great.
So that's how it all started. But then I couldn't bring the product from China to here. That was the other complication because, with all this KKM and halal and everything. So we, because at that moment, I really thought that we need mal, we need a lot of, just like when we were trying to send it to US, FDA approval was something needed. I didn't know there was a loophole. Because I was not here. So I stopped the production of the products and everything. But we keep on, we develop our website. We will keep on, online. We were teaching people about diet. We were coming here, doing seminars and everything. So that's the whole thing happened until 2019. Okay, so after 2019, because by 2019 in China, I already owned 2 schools because I was teaching, I was working as a teacher. Now from a teacher, I have started to train teachers. From training teachers, I have started to recruit teachers. From recruit teachers, I have started to open schools.
So you were employing people there?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So that was my journey from teacher to become owner for the school. So we opened 2 schools there. It was more of like a private schools, helping students from China to go to overseas to study. So we were like the channel, equipping them with the culture, food. It's still my food was there. Culture shocks, the food adaptation, and then the language, and also making sure that the entire learning, because China has a very drill-based education system. Everything is pattern learning.
That's how they win the Olympics. That's how. It's conditioning that you focus, you want to succeed.
Yeah, so they kind of like stay inside the box. So our school more over like bringing the
relax
kids
them out of it, shackle them.
So making them to think out of the box.
Okay.
So then from one school, I developed 2 schools, and this time like we are making very, very good money already. And then since 2019, my sister was one of the director of the school, and then she got married and she said she wants to come back here. And she asked me, will I invest the same school and open it in Malaysia? That one decision changed my life.
A big shout out to our sponsor today, Hydro Coco. Hydro Coco ni ialah salah satu alternatif sekiranya anda tak dapat minum air kelapa. Ialah dehydrated coconut water. Maksudnya air kelapa yang telah dihidrat. Sekiranya pada waktu pagi ke ataupun waktu malam, bila you tak dapat minum air kelapa yang betul and you perlukan electrolyte. Electrolyte ni maksudnya garam-garam mineral. Antara kandungan yang paling tinggi dalam air kelapa ialah potassium, phosphorus, sodium, kalsium dan juga magnesium. So dalam satu kotak ni ada lebih kurang 20 sachet. Ada juga kotak kecil yang boleh dapatkan di mana-mana klinik-klinik dan juga farmasi. You boleh search untuk Hydro Coco ataupun you boleh search on the link below and you can go there and purchase Hydro Coco. So for those yang need to rehydrate themselves pada waktu cuaca yang panas, you boleh simpan satu paket kecil ni dalam even your pocket, and you can you just koyakkan, letak dalam air and bancuh and you boleh minum. So Hydro Coco, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode today.
Because 2019 I came here, July, so all the school, it was 8 blocks. The hard cash of 1.6 million was thrown into that school just for the renovation. Then it was more of an early childhood because we do not want to step into primary yet because we want to establish here, then only move to. So we had a greenhouse inside the school.
Okay.
We have robotics. We have swimming pool. Everything was
And this was
designed.
in Kuala Lumpur?
In Rawang.
Wow.
In Rawang. So we want to always go back to our roots. Like that's where I came from, you know. I'm Rawangian. So always proud of being a Rawangian. So when we started that, and then 2019 July, we opened the school, and then 2019 December, a huge launching happened. There were YBs, and a lot of people came in, you know. And 2019 December 21st, the school maximum occupancy is 120 kids. I had 210 kids registered for the 2 years consequently. So it means that, and that day the school already started to make few 100,000 per month on launching, and we are like,
you hit it.
Great decision. We're gonna make money, and we're gonna go. Like we have planned where we're gonna open this many schools. Everything is settled, and I'm supposed to go back to China because I have everything set up there. After the December, January, I'm booking my tickets. And my tickets won't go through. And then I'm getting email from the visa officer that all the expats, you know, the visa would be terminated short while for temporary, and we are not allowed.
Jeng. You know what happened that time?
China always freaks out with malaria. Small things, they always freak out. They always close down. So for me, it was like, okay, just another flu. It's just going to close down. And we wear masks right from 2010. Not because of the COVID.
Because
in China,
because of SARS.
Yes. So in China, mask is mandatory. So wearing mask is something very common there. Not like here.
Just like Japan and all
yeah.
in the
so
train.
So when they say all that, I'm like, okay, it's just for a temporary. And then January, the whole January passed through. And then from February, from my schools in China, everything is closed. And my team from China saying that, doctor, something really bad's happening. We are not allowed to go out from the house. And Hangzhou is a retirement city. So literally every rich person in China lives in Hangzhou, where I live. Like Ferraris and Lambos are like most of the cars in the street. So for our city to be closed, it's a little harder. So because they are like high-end people, you know. And then they're saying that all these areas, like even all these billionaires, I cannot come out of the house. I'm like, what? And that triggered me, you know, something bad is happening, you know. And then I'm just waiting. And then March 18, our school in Malaysia is closed. Yeah. From that, the whole entire journey started lah. So I because I was so bored in Malaysia, I don't know what to do. I couldn't go back. Everything was there in China, and I'm here, and I really started to day trade. And people at that moment, you know, we were starting to go into stock market and day trading. I did all that stuff, and I was still bored. And then I started to focus in Nutrilavish, and then
so that's where the products came in.
The products came in because actually the product came in first because I was bored. I said, okay, why not I just, you know, go back and start working with this. So I asked my chemist to send all our formula, and I started to send to a few of the manufacturers here and say that, you know, can I like get like patent right on my formula? We can't patent right ingredient, you know, in Malaysia. That's another thing that in Malaysia, the people who make products, we know there's a huge issues with that. But you can patent right the formula. So I said that I have a patent right formula. Can you all do it for me? And then I started to like juggle that. That was happening like for a few months, 6 months. Still bored. And then I had this, I don't know, like people know Azizan Osman. And then I was like, you know, I went to his class because few of my friends went. I said, okay, I just go inside. Because I couldn't also bring things from China. All my hardware stopped. All my schools stopped. You know, so
that also took a toll on the whole business and all the pipelines and everything stuck.
Everything. So literally my entire life paused, not knowing what to do. And I'm a person, since I'm always looking and searching for things. I always believe that this is my boss taught me over the years of China. I lived there for 11 years. That every second of your life, you either earn or learn. If you're not doing either two, you are going to die soon. Die in terms of mentally growth lah. So because I kept that formula so into my heart, like, so I always, if I'm not earning obviously at that moment, and I was losing a lot in stocks, you know, kind of gambling. So I said that why don't we take this chance to learn? And then I started business administration course. in Wellington University. And then from there, I started my MBA. And because of MBA, a lot of my colleagues were talking about Aizen Osman. I was like, what is so special about this guy? And I went inside there and I understand, oh, there's this thing called online platform. And until then, I've never know anything. I'm not in Facebook. I'm not in TikTok. I'm not in Insta. I'm not a social person. I don't think of sharing your things in social media is a thing. You know, I was more
so
into
that changed everything.
everything. And then I'm like, oh, there's this thing called online platform, and we can not only share your personal stuff, you can actually make money. And me, I love to make money. So I started my from first class IFMK, I think that was this course. Like I was doing MBA, MBA didn't teach me this, And then here I went to his class. It's like, you know what? I'm going to go on live. And so I was wearing pajamas. I went on live in English. And then I was, because Nutrilavish already a platform. So I used that platform to go on live and I'll start talking. And then nobody saw me in English first day. But then I saw the comments below saying that we couldn't understand you.
Who was saying that?
Because I already have about 20,000+ followers, Malaysian Indians.
And this was even before you were attempting to go online.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so funny.
Because I started my website, my NGO seminar training out of fluke. No reason why I started, just a passion that my dad asked a favor for. So to do that, I need the people who are like giving and preaching and giving seminar. I need a place for them to go and search for a news
More
and everything.
information, yeah.
That's how Nutrilavish was born. The whole page for Nutrilavish was born. And now it's just there, not doing anything. And then I went inside that page and did live. Yeah. So, and then I see some of my customers, like, they're not customers at that point of time, just my followers. And they were saying, like, Dr., we couldn't understand you. Why are you speaking in English? And then the next day itself, I said, no, I'm going to serve my community first. I have so many people in my community that needed help. So I'm going to serve them first. People who can speak English, they can still Google.
You're right.
They still have
right.
all the ways to learn. But my community people that couldn't read or speak, illiterate, they need me. That whole realization came in at the next day onwards. I started, everything in Tamil. From 20,000, we grow into 60,000 overnight followers. And then when we started TikTok from 0, we grow into 200,000 followers. And then at that moment, no product, no. I'm just talking to the manufacturer. Still no idea for the product. But then when these
And what were you talking at that point?
All about diabetic, all about health issues. We will ask them that what are the questions that you have, because my Nutrilavish was formed more focused on healthy base of diet.
Okay.
Because as Malaysia, because China was easy, their diet is so easy, so straightforward, because they have one thing to follow. But in Malaysia, we have so many things to follow.
What is the one thing they have to follow?
They have Chinese style only.
Okay. We have the bazaar.
They say that in bazaar, every time, for iftar, like I saw this guy was talking that last year they have wasted 90 million tons of food.
A day.
Yeah.
A day, no?
No, the whole
thing.
iftar. 90 million tons of food that we could feed the entire Palestine. To think about it, why and then I see that why our culture is so embedded together with the food. Everything we do is food. Gathering is food. Birthday is food. Everything is food. We don't know anything. So, and the food that we eat literally makes us more stupider than ever. And then, so that gave me so much of like frustration when I deal with people and everything. So I started whatever that we were doing offline, I was doing online. Okay. And then my other team was doing, finding the manufacturers and everything. Then when I was doing a lot of online courses and telling people what to eat, how to choose,
and all of this was like technically just going live. Free. Come and just listen.
Yes. And then we grew overnight. And then when I see that people are coming in and learning, it's very hard for them to follow without any supplement.
To hold on to.
To create that discipline, to say that, hey, something can be changed. So with this idea, whatever the demand was there, and then we created Extreme, our first more focus. It was a fiber and and probiotic with enzymes that helps with digestion. We created that first, and then along the journey, we also created our protein shake that to comply this particular cost of whatever we are doing.
Understand. So currently, how many products do you have?
I think I have 8. Yeah, I think I have 8. We have now, because again, even though my heart and soul is into helping people medically and also helping people with diet, obesity, metabolic syndrome, more focus on metabolic syndrome, still I'm a businesswoman. I understand that TikTok is a platform where you can make a lot of money. And meanwhile, you can do that because I took all my wellness product out of TikTok due to, I feel like, to talk about wellness to a person and to tell them this is the product that you have to take, this is the program you have to take, it has to be customized. We have to do one-to-one care.
You're right.
I hate people going inside, TikTok to buy this kind of products. So ours, we only focus on personal care. So we have feminine wash.
That's on TikTok and
all
stuff.
that personal care stuff is on the TikTok, and which in TikTok, in that platform, I see that I'm helping my community to make money.
Good. So that means there is like sort of like a system where people can participate, be an affiliate, be a member, and also sell.
Sure.
I think that's something good, that because you're transforming the industry. Because I think healthcare, supplementation, and personal care are technically two different subject
Very
market.
true. Huge.
If you look at, let's walk into a pharmacy and realize how big is the prescription counter and how big is the personal care counter. The personal care counter is really large compared to the prescription zone. So what we can already see is that where is the customer spending more? They're spending more on personal care rather than drugs.
True, because they see drugs as to solve an issue.
Correct.
Personal care
It's
as
continuous.
a daily necessity. So that is why that as business, again, as business concept, you need to have both. But again, you can be an expert in one. That is one of the biggest challenge that I had, because I started as wellness. But then when I was keep on going with wellness, I made a very strict regulation where that those who are coming to sell my wellness product, whether they are an agent or an affiliate, a dropship, a stockist, whoever it is, they have to go with our extensive, a wellness training.
You conduct it?
Yes, that we conduct. We have induction 1, 2, 3. We have the whole system set up, lay up, So when we do that, so many of them couldn't complete that course because they were the education background was not there, the understanding was not there, but they still want to make money.
They still wanted to sell.
So we want to help these people, and then we say that even though we are a wellness brand, but at the bigger concept of Nutrilavish is nak bangunkan kaum India di Malaysia.
Okay, so specifically there was already a target market. Okay, I'm going to sidetrack a bit, pull you back a bit from the business segment, then jump there back again. Looking back into the wellness segment, one very interesting stat I want to share is that among the number of obesity in Malaysia,
True.
the biggest concern actually, even though the Indian community is the smallest community, Indian female to be specific, I think rise a very huge concern of diabetes in Malaysia.
True.
Okay, and also moderate obesity. I looked into this segment myself and even my partner, Dr. Sashi, in the clinic, and we start realizing that, okay, what is the problem? Why are the Indian community, especially female, consuming a lot of food? But when you look into the shops, if you go to the Indian eateries, restaurants, or mama shop and everything, and look, they are consuming a lot of carbs as compared to vegetables or protein. Mm-hmm. The protein intake is not fantastic. I have to say that. Nor that they are eating in extremely expensive fine dining restaurants, having lamb shank or mutton chop or whatever it is. But it is now going back to that dietary concern that the carb consumption is the biggest issue. Are you seeing that? I mean, as people are subscribing to the supplementation and products, looking forward for a diet transformation, But this thing now is like a stigma. It's stuck that நம்ம சோறு தான் சாப்பிடணும் like that. We have to eat like Tossa, we have to eat idli, and then it's going back to cup. And then what's the drink? Milo ice, tea ice, and stuff like that. And even when it comes to protein, we have a challenge because we have a perspective of vegetarianism. We also have to look into the religious context of maybe no red meat for some being more specific, being Hindu, like no beef and stuff like that. Then it becomes more meticulous because most likely in a family, the female mother will be the one who's cooking.
True.
And what you see, but it's a long question, but I will give you time to answer.
It's a lot of segment. Okay, first
Let's
of
chop
all,
it down.
when I look into like certain journals, like before, like when we started all this, right? You know, in 1974, we in Malaysia lah, not even talking about Indians lah, 1970.
That's 50 years ago, no?
Yeah, 1974. We were undernutrition, you know. Malaysia was starting
Malnourished.
Yes, malnourished, and we were having hunger poverty. Today, we are overnutrition.
That's how I remember in school something called as RMT. Rancangan Makanan Tambahan.
So I'm like,
Siapa ingat?
literally in 50 years, from there, we are here, you know. And at that point of time, people were dying because of the endemic, and also why they were dying because of that is due to when they were admitted, they are very lack of nutrition, you know. So the body it couldn't support, the immune system is really low, and then they die. Today, same thing. You know what happened? They have seen that about 74% people who were admitted for COVID-19, and they went to critically ill due to they were obese.
Yes.
So they didn't actually die because of COVID-19.
Thank you.
So now to think, such a huge transformation, you know, 50 years and from there we are here. Okay, that's one thing that we keep in mind lah before we continue. The second thing, as you say, that why Indian female compared to all the ethnicity and everyone. No? So when you look at Indian female, right, our mother, especially once they have delivered baby, and especially once they have become a housewife. Their housewife and their mother, say their motherly instinct of nurturing the kids become their primary goal of their life. In that context, they have lost to take care of themselves. All that, because for them, being fit is not a context. Being beautiful is a thing. Being fit is not, until today, among Indians, being fit is still a stigma. They want to be beautiful, not be fit. So as woman became a mother, and the motherhood thing came and took
plus
a toll.
those are working some.
Yes. So what happened is that all of her agenda changed, where she feels like she have lost interest on herself. This is what, when I sit down and I talk to them, have you seen yourself? Have you taken care of yourself? And then from there, poor diet, poor eating, everything comes in place. And then when they started to look at themselves, I became fat, I'm not happy, I'm not attractive. And then the low self-esteem take another toll on them, you know. They have, and then the next part is the stress comes into a place where they have issues with their family, finance. The whole picture make them to become a pair.
Okay.
The pair. So because you see the pear shape is because due to food is one part, but huge part is their stress. Stress causing stress eating. And stress eating in Malaysia, I'm telling you, we don't go out and see all the hawker stalls there selling fruits.
Correct.
Like I went to Turkey, you know, setiap hawker stall, that food street, you know what they were selling? Buah kurma lah, you know, all these nuts and all these fruits. What we have in our
Cendol.
hawker stall. Cendol, ABC, murtabak, you know, so when they are stress eating, and when they are stressed, they're depressed, and they are not happy with what's going on. When they're going on a stress eating tour, whatever they see is what they eat, because they are not in a mental state where they can justify what they eat. Like they can justify, oh, this is right thing to eat, and this is not. Do you understand? So because I work very closely with these patients, like these are the 90% of my customers. They are
Understand.
women, they are Indian, they are mother, they are working.
Okay.
They are 35 and above.
Okay.
Yeah, they all
That is
have
the
same,
main focus community.
yes,
that you
and
have.
they don't feel, they don't, at the end of the day, they feel like why I have to do all this? I might as well spend all this money, all this thing, giving them a good tuition, buying them nice stuff. They couldn't understand that, hey, out of all that, actually what you feed them and what you eat is most important. I always tell that when the aeroplane is crashing, you can't put the oxygen mask for them first. You have to put it to yourself and then to them. So when you are healthy, you create a healthy baby.
You create a healthy environment at home.
Yeah.
At
So
home.
this is where we play a huge part lah. This is where that we are keep on creating this awareness, because it's something that over the 50 years, it cost of 50 years of change and huge change from 11% urban. People who live in urban, now we have grown to 70+% for living in urban. And last few years, we have grown outside online food ordering.
All the gadgets.
Massive growth. So how will they go? Let's open Food Panda. Let's open Grab Food. How many right food choice that you're going to get?
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing, honestly, nothing. It's so hard. Example, like if you had to pick also, like example, you have to end up picking something absolutely premium. Maybe you need to go like for like biryani or something, which is going to be on the electronic platform like 30 or 40 ringgit.
True.
So then you ask the community like, hey, I'm going to spend like 30 or 40 ringgit for like 2 people to eat, that's 60 ringgit. So then they say, you know what, just eat rice at home or buy curry.
And the worst thing that for Indians that I tell them, please stop this, is Chinese economy rice. I say, please stop that. That is the worst food that you can ever eat. All processed, all fried, all like, it's just rubbish.
But then they'll say like, hey, got vegetables so much.
5 ringgit. That's what they see. They don't see anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then they will
when
throw
you
you.
educate that, they have vegetable also. But the issue is you don't just put the vegetable. You choose all these. And these food that at economy rice, I'm not talking about all the economy rice stuff, but I'm talking about majority. Because generally, like when we look into it, they were all fried. They were all more focused on sausages and all, and like processed. And the other thing is that I've seen that they were all not cooked in a proper temperature also. So most of the food poison happens from the economy rice. So I tell them
Nasi
that,
campur.
yes, I tell them try lah. At least our Indian shop economy rice, nasi campur or Malay nasi campur, still okay. But I'm not being racist here. I'm just saying that the way they do it, it's really not the healthier way lah.
Yeah.
The third part of that question that I want to answer is that, who do we blame here? Consumer or the seller? See?
You want my answer? You want my answer?
Yeah. See, that's not like consumer or seller.
My answer is very simple. GOV. I blame them.
Okay.
Because they don't.
That's the primary cause of everything
because
lah.
you see the problem and you don't want to do anything because you're just so focused on just therapeutics.
Just like tobacco, we know not to smoke. We just put a label there.
Exactly.
Lung cancer, but we still sell. So this is the issue that I see, that at least, okay lah, the government is a bigger picture. We maybe couldn't reach there as soon. Maybe that we're going to take decades to change. Hopefully we keep good faith.
But I think it still starts with the consumer. See, I believe that the consumer has a lot of power. The consumer likes sentiments in Malaysia.
True.
They're very sentimental towards issues, concerns. So the consumer actually should have some form of consideration. But also on another perspective, if you want to zoom into our community, it's the cost of food pricing and also the options that they have. I have uncles and maybe even my dad will say like, they are very fussy even they will go out and eat. No, I don't eat this shop. I don't eat at this shop. I don't eat Korean food. I would not eat like sushi. So they just want to go back to to what they just like.
Like their habit.
That's one
Yeah.
thing. And then the carb driven also is one thing. They are like so dwelled in carb.
As you said, yes, because I was working with this Tamil school. Because this is what in our movement, right? What we do is that we try to approach few of the restaurant owners, try to give them a whole different kind of how you can cook things. It's little things that you can change, that little things can go. When you're cooking mutton, why don't you boil the mutton and pour out the fat first? That small thing can reduce the fat content in that mutton varul. Do you understand?
Okay.
Right? And then when you're cooking santan, let's say you're doing curry and everything, right? Try to pour santan once the flame is off at the very end, so that all that santan doesn't turn into a fat. So we try to educate this too, because yes, consumer is right. We can educate consumer, but then one restaurant deals with thousands of consumer, and if this one restaurant could change, that could change thousands of people's diet. So we try to approach few of the restaurant owners. When we say that, no, we are not saying that buy expensive stuff and try to cook. No, we just say tweak the way you cook so it becomes a healthier option. Less calorie, less fat, less sugar. Yes, people can't stop carb. People can't stop rice. We are rice eaters. But then we can say that when they are taking rice, don't take much. And when they are topping up with all the other stuff, you put varieties which are healthier. You cooked in a healthier way.
Correct.
This is where that I educate, because I don't tell that steam everything, kukos, makan. I think that's rubbish, because that's not who we are. That's not that if you go on such diet, we call army diet, such strict diet, you're gonna give up. You're gonna go back, gorging on every food that you love. So what we say that, yes, how to masak rendang, but in a healthier way. This is my concept of how I do.
Fair.
So I deal with the sellers, because I said that I try and I sit with them. I open-heartedly tell them we all here to make money.
Okay, since you're on that subject, how do you see example like your efforts, the impact towards the family community? Because I think that eating at home, I think the biggest change we're going to have is that eating at home.
Yes.
If the mothers start cooking, or the fathers can cook, that's going to change, because whatever that is practiced at home, the kids are going to learn.
True.
And the kids are going to go out and do the same, technically the same thing. You're going to
Very
find
true.
something similar, because your tongue is already tested in this kind of of flavors.
On that contrary, we have developed about 150 Indian-based home cooked meals, which is the same meal. Example, we eat Tossa, right?
Okay.
But then Tossa can be very high in uric acid if you have fermented for a very long time, or to do Tossa better, you add rice. You usually actually have to use
you
rice.
have to add rice and the ulund
to make the Tossa better, or idli better. So in that contrary, you see ulund, the urat dal, is very high in protein, actually very good, But then because you add, two things happen: you ferment it too long, or you add rice, it creates gout issues and all these arthritis issues.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, at the same time, high in carb. Now we say, can we stop eat Tossa? No, I love Tossa. I love idli. Now what can I do here to tweak this formula? So we have created 150 formulas like this.
So it's available for anyone.
Anyone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we have trained a lot. We have trained 22,000 Malaysian Indian women who are housewives, like mothers, and they all have adopted this way of doing Tossa. It means no rice at all.
Okay.
Yeah. And how can you reduce the fermentation process? And still you can have that beautiful Tossa, and idli. And this is the campaign. As I said, the first campaign is the sellers that we did. The second campaign with the food recipes that we are doing. And now we are doing the cookbook so that we can submit it to Malaysian records. Because there's only one cookbook without any carbs.
Okay.
The lowest carb, lowest fat.
And when's it coming out?
Yeah. In the process, they're doing. It's been already 8 months. They're still, working, putting everything nicely, and they're recording. So they will be like the video together with the cookbook.
I see.
Yeah.
That's
So
nice.
hopefully, once it's that out, it'll be more available for everyone, lah. So that's the second thing. The third thing is that we started to move into Tamil schools. I started to work with Rawang Taman School and also more intensely with Sungai Cho Taman School.
Okay.
So in Sungai Cho Taman School, we went inside, we look at the canteen food. You know what kids eat at school?
What did they eat? Please share.
Nasi lemak,
Okay.
mee goreng, nuggets, French fries, only this, donuts. Have you seen any of this food being high protein, high fiber, low fat? No. I'm asking the same cost of making nasi lemak, why you don't put chapati? Who told you that kids don't eat chapati? And how to do the right chapati with the right cost? So we started, then when we did that, first we thought the canteen owner is the one that going to come and, try to be rebellious and say, no, this is what I'm going to make, and all that. But no, the owner she was so nice. She adapted. We brought our cook because I have 2 dietitians who are they are degree holders and they've worked with KKM. They are in with my company now. I have a nutritionist who is working with my company. So every meal, every recipe that we make, we check. Yes, very strategized. So I bring them with my chef. I teach them. She adapted so well. You know who complained?
The students.
Parents. They're like, my kid
cannot eat this kind of protein.
Can only be satisfied and feel full when they eat 1 plate of nasi lemak. How you're saying that this roti, this one, can make them feel full? Now they are hungry. They'll have gastric. See, the issue here is that they see the quantity actually fills you up, not the macronutrient. They don't understand about the nutrient of the product of the food. They only say that, since I see that the plate is full, now you should feel full. Now I say that yes lah, you are using a normal beza, normal proton, but you fill up with diesel. You are thinking that the car is going to run.
No
That's what you are doing to your kid. All they're
You're
eating,
spoiling the kid.
yes, all they're eating. Because why all this started is that actually, I should say that the Sungai Cho principal, Principal Jayanti, she contacted me. She said, Dr. Kalai, I need your help with my school. My school is rural school. Actually, rural, it's inside. But obesity is very high. And she said, I need your help. And that is why, because before that, only the restaurant and the food recipes and the mothers we were working, they said, oh, actually, no. The problem is here. Let's start to work there. And then it took us about 11 campaign seminars with 400 parents for
in the
them
school
to understand. Yeah. 11 times for them to understand, no, why not nasi lemak? They were so...
I mean, nasi lemak is a healthy meal, but if it's given every day to the kids for lunchtime,
depend on how you do it also.
Correct. It depends on this. Sometimes there's also, you need to count the calories. Sometimes it's okay to consume, tapi you need to see where and how many times you're eating carbs.
The frequency of it. And also this is where I get so frustrated with all these gym coaches, these gym freaks, and they say, siapa cakap tak jangan makan donat? Boleh makan donat. Siapa cakap jangan makan nasi lemak? I say, yeah lah, you boleh lah. You ada so much of muscles. Whatever rubbish you eat, your muscle can, synthesize all that.
Breakdown.
Talk about the normal people yang tak ada apa-apa lembih semua.
Hey, but you go to the gym, how often you go?
I am also a gym freak. I work out a lot. This is why I always go against. Now this is why this year new campaign, the campaign we are moving completely into fitness brand. So I'm working with a lot of gym coaches. They become they started to collaborate with us and everything. And we started to educate, excuse me, until you dah boleh nampak all this muscle and you stand on that scale and it shows your muscle mass is bigger than your fat percentage. Now you have that bonus untuk makan what you want.
Correct.
Until you are there, don't touch donut. Who told you donut is good? Don't touch all this nasi lemak. Yes, nasi lemak is our food, Malaysian food. We shouldn't let go of it. Once in a while, you can eat that.
True.
Tamil சொன்னா அளவுக்கு மிஞ்சினா அமிர்தமும் நஞ்சுன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. I don't know how much you know about peribahasa. Even such a amazing food, God is giving you.
You have to have some moderation.
Prasadam, God's prasadam, holy food that God giving you. If you keep on eating that, you will get diabetes.
Then you'll go to God.
You go to God, So we try to. It's a whole marathon lah.
Understand. I mean, at least the journey continues lah. I mean, sometimes you think it's over, but it's not over. You feel like you just started.
Yes.
You just started.
Yes.
And I just need to pull you back to the question I asked you earlier, in regards to our diets. With so much of focus on carb, so little protein, and then to be a bit more specific, that like example for my segment of seeing patients, like looking to hormones and everything, this is what my full passion in practice is. I started realizing that we have a real insulin issue. We have also an estrogen dominance sometimes. Sometimes can be a bit of water retention thanks to progesterone and cortisol. All the stress that you mentioned is all like, the perspective of the femininity of Indian female. Like once they become a mother, that's it. My world ended. Nothing else matters except my child. I just take care, and I will become this self-sacrificial individual. Like it's all about my kids and
Sure.
nothing else matters. But they don't understand that, like you said, like the oxygen mask, the diets, not having. I would be maybe how to say, what's the right word? Be fair lah. To be fair, I mean, like you can consume seafood. You can consume even some people who want to consume red meat. You can consume chicken, but I think there is massive obsession of high carb and chicken. High carb and chicken, and there's no
fried chicken.
Fried chicken, yeah, because
Go to pasar malam.
You can see. And of course, we also see another factor because it's cheap. And if we see by statistics, if we are the majority of the B40 community, maybe the ones who are out of it, M40, T20, don't see that much. In fact, maybe the affordability is higher.
Sure.
But to families who are in the lower bracket, for them it's like, carb is the cheapest option I got, doctor. But because of education. You can use pacu paira, green beans. You can use, you can make like a bubur kacang merah. You can use black beans. And what I realize is our diet as compared to the real South Indians, even though some of them choose to be vegan or vegetarian, is absolutely different.
Very true.
And that's why you go back and look at the data. If you go to areas in India, if you see the females there, they have not much of the issues that we are facing here, even in rural areas and stuff like that.
I think it's not because here, as I mentioned, that too much of options. Here, that's our biggest issue. We have just too much, and that's what I saw in China. One option. This is their diet, and it's have evolved over the years, but they have always go back to the roots. This is what it is. They drink green tea. They eat most of the food are steamed. This is how it is. But here, more and more and more, we are having too much of choices, and then not only choices inside here, from outside. Now Arab food become the kunafa, all sugar. Whatever
Turkish delight.
Yeah, whatever that from outside also coming inside it. Dah lah sini banyak sangat. We have options.
You already got enough for kesari already.
From outside also coming inside. The same type, And when people, it became a habit. They have a very strong taste for carbs, and they have belief system where that only when I eat carbs I feel full. And where I keep on saying that, yes, it is a type of energy, but it's a fast burnout energy. It's not a sustainable energy. Now you want to go for sustainable energy food. So, and here I don't want to, see again, if I'm talking about all these, that they don't usually see, they get freaked out. They're like, no lah, very hard. So what I do is that, yes, eat rice. What do you do? How many scoops you take? 3. Make it 1. Make it 1. Now
sendo.
How to sendo, not tablespoon lah. Okay, and then I say, okay, now what? Okay, so then they say that, then I won't feel full. Then I say that, what snacks you put? Okay, I go for chicken, or let's say chicken, tofu, or whatever protein lah. But they don't know protein. They know that's my next. After I put on rice, that's my next that I will put on. Okay, then I said, okay, the next is fish, chicken, udang, sotong, and all this, right? Okay, that's very good. Just put double of what you're putting. But when you put double, I want you to just make sure that it's not fried.
Okay.
Before this, when I started this 3 years ago, I used a lot of technical, like very, very theoretical base. I said that focus on complex carbs. We don't want simple carbs. And why? It's easy to break it down. Blah, blah, blah. They don't understand. Then I have changed my module, in these 3 years that I have evolved, and I said that okay, the second thing is this one, right? Okay, tak apalah, you ambil je lah. What lauk? Like normally they say curry podu puri. Okay, then you want chicken lah, fish lah, whatever it is. Okay, you can. I want you to top double. Rather than putting one big sendok of chicken, just go for 2. Okay. But here what you do, kan you suka sangat ambil that lauk. But sambal means you would like to take that oil with that. Now I want you to avoid that. I want you to filter with your sendok. I teach like babies. I say filter with that sendok and use it. Take that. Or if you want to go for double the amount, make sure it's not fried.
Okay.
And then the third one, I say what you put. Vegetable lah, what else? I said now vegetable from 1 sendok, go for 2. She said I never use sendok. I use tablespoon for vegetable. I said now you change to sendok.
That's a good suggestion.
Yeah, because they always say, for vegetable, I use tablespoon. I said, no, now is the time you change to sendok and you go for 2. Now your plate is so full, no. Your plate is lot of food. Sampai like you cannot finish it sometime. Then when they started to trade, and I know that when we teach them this, right, what I do is that I have my diet coach that is a compulsory for my clients to take a snap picture of their food and send it. And we have 22,000 customers, and my diet coach will examine everyone's lunch.
And then how do they reply?
So, and then immediately reply on that platform wherever they are putting. We say that, okay, in this, what I see is that you have to reduce your rice. I have never tell them go brown rice. No.
Thank you.
No, it's not.
Because it's not actually practical also to understand.
Yes.
I always give a simple analogy that why do you think all these civilizations who were rice based, I'm talking about the Indian civilization, Chinese civilization, and also people from this Nusantara, our people in Southeast Asia. These were the only places where rice was found, and they all polished it until it was white. So one, there was a phytic acid issue. In the brown rice. Another one more thing is you would over fiber yourself. That's one thing. That's why it's like go back to basics. Go back to why they did this 2,000, 3,000 years ago. That means they would have also understand a significant amount of science, which maybe we see now with datas and tables and stats, but they also have passed down this information from one medicine guy to the other. Exactly. They also exist. Maybe medical schools existed then itself. Surgery existed then itself. So it's not like only today we are doing surgery. It was already done long time ago. And okay, one controversial question. Your take on red meat.
Okay, this is personal lah. I'm a divorcee,
okay,
but I was married to a white guy. He's from American. He's Caucasian. And he's from Alabama. So obviously the intake of beef is very, very high. So of course, at that point of time, I was eating. If you are talking about red meat as beef lah.
Yeah. Okay. No, red meat, it could be mutton, it could be deer also.
Okay. So let's say that in
can even be wild boar.
Okay. In that case, you're putting all red meats lah. So at that point of time, what I see, my personal experience, because of what he eats, I cook beef. Like I cook beef, in that way that they eat, the slow cook, the ribs and everything, And then I started to eat. As we grew as Indian family, we don't take a lot of red meat. We really minimize that red meat. And then at that point of time of my life where I'm cooking, I'm eating, I see a lot of significant changes in myself.
Okay.
Not in a good way.
Okay.
And that could be because 2 things. The way my body has been designed, my metabolism, my digestion and everything, and maybe it could be too heavy. The second thing is that it could be that I have never taken such high protein, high fat before.
Understand.
So if you have grown that way, you have taken that way, then you have to focus on, yes, you still can take red meat, but you want to focus of get rid of the fat. It is still acceptable. Rather than you are like if I'm not taking red meat and I'm going to take this many eggs today, this many breasts today. Yes, instead of this, I can take red meat. So it's all depend on what's the choice that you have been grown into and what is your habit. So since I was not that way, it affected me. You know, I put on my fat mass of my body fat mass increased tremendously.
You saw that.
Yes, I saw that because I was in this line all through. So it was an experimental, but then I felt that way. But now you see that for Indians, like we are talking about more of lamb shank. It became like all this like wow, I'm
Hip
eating
lah.
so I'm eating all this lamb shank. Yes, and now we talk about how they cook it. Did they drain out all the fat? They cook it. Did they cook it slowly? Was it slow cook? You know, that's why I love to eat Arabic food. In Arabic food, every red meat is slow cooked minimum. In that menu, they will write 18 hours. When it's been slow cooked, the protein has been broken down that way. So, and it's easier for you to be digested rather than it's been cooked under pressure cooker.
Yes, it's a different method. Even the methods change, how the texture, the feel, the nutrition value, all of this change.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I keep on telling that yes, I'm not against it. You can eat it. I even tell them if you're a pressure person, you have stents in your heart or whatever, you can eat. Not to say that you have to avoid it, but always change the way you cook.
True. I think among our community there's this misinformation about the relations of fat with inflammation, fat relating to hypertension, fat relating to cardiovascular disease. So always they feel, if you eat mutton, you're going to get heart attack and things. I think the biggest problem is again the inflammation actually brought through by high carbohydrate consumption of food causing the inflammation.
True.
Rather than just looking at just like fat cholesterol and
that is
and
because
putting the blame.
They see that fat.
I think it just directly translates.
But that is the other thing that I keep telling, that every food that you have taken, let's say you have 80% of, let's say the rice and everything, every food has carb, whether it's meat, whether it's veggie, everything, that macronutrient, one of it is carb. You have it whether you eat rice or not. So once you consume more than what you needed, every carb changed to glucose, and that's your energy, right? Now you couldn't use it, and on over the top you have insulin resistant. Now all that extra sugar would turn into fat.
True.
Not the fat turn into fat. Now the sugar turns
Carbs
into
turn
fat.
to fat, exactly.
So now that is another breakthrough that very hard is for them to understand that.
It's
very
okay, but
hard
we try.
for them to understand. Yeah. So I always believe that, the seed bank of the world, when the World War II happened, this guy in Russia believed that he has to collect seeds, in order to, when something do happen to this world, that these seeds we can bring back to the plantation. See, when he died in that World War II, because the whole political and everything, but then it grew until today that they have millions of seeds. But the idea, the purpose was there in World War II. Just like what we are doing now. What we are starting, the whole war of, the awareness and everything, is not going to end now. We're not going to change everything now. But it might, even until I die, I wouldn't be able to. But it's a journey that I carry, that our entire organization is going to carry the same dream, the same purpose. Because I believe that if you have a purpose that can be achievable, that's not a purpose.
That's empowering. That's very empowering. So one last or two last questions before we wrap up today is, a lot of doctors today in our community go to medical school to study medicine, and I think it's never wrong for them to pursue their dreams. The common family or the common stigma is like, once you go to medical school, you must come out to practice in hospital or in a clinic and whatever center you can be in sort of this registered situation. You chose the different part, even though the dream to be in medicine or to study to become a doctor maybe existed maybe at the spark of maybe primary school or secondary school. That thing is, I want to do it, whether or not where I come from, I will get there. And today many of the young doctors are stuck. They go in, they see the system, they feel the system is hard, they feel that they are, like you mentioned, 350 people seeing in like one whole day, burned out, underpaid, and then not knowing where they're going to go next. They're thrown a contract, and then they're thrown into rural or thing, and then can you imagine, like, you wanted to do orthopedics, then they send you to ophthalmology, and you're there like 3 years or 4 years into that as a MO, and then this is ophthalmo, it's not my passion, I want to go and do orthopedics, and then I beg and beg and beg and beg to come out from there, then I don't get that, and then I feel like sour lah. And this is what's happening in our state. I mean, like different countries, it could be different. Like, example, you want to go into another sub-segment of medicine. Let's say I want to do peds. Look, we have slots to go and do. Go in. At least you run that passion. But it's becoming harder and harder these days in our country. Worse still into communities that are not the majority communities, where you might not be given a chance to study here. You have to go out. You experience it. I experienced this myself. I mean, you can be the top of the class, but the opportunity maybe not be given to you. But that doesn't end the story. But that is one journey you go. The second journey is after you come out. Now, what's next?
Yes.
And what's your message to younger doctors? You are young lah, but younger ones.
Not that young, actually you're younger than me. The newcomers lah, the debut doctors. I say, see, where it's actually because we are, as doctors, we are very outspoken, I guess. That's why it's like a lot of people, a lot of times journalists, talking about doctors are not, it's so unfair, they are not treated well, underpaid and all that. Actually, it happens in all sectors. You talk about a graphic designer, he will have tons of stories like, I studied this many years, I paid so much, come out, I couldn't work, I have to go free. See, every sector that you are in,
there is a struggle.
There is a struggle. It's a war. Actually, it's all about what we are passionate of doing. How much that we can actually take in, how much heat that you are willing to take in. And some of them, see, like me, what I realize is that at the very beginning, being a doctor is actually my mom's dream. Okay. As you know, Indian family. So
we just started if it's now.
So since like when I was like a little kid, like every morning she would wake up, Dr. Kalai. Wow. That's how she wakes me up, and that is like put a lot of pressure on me. And
it's like psychosis already.
So at one point I'm like, do I actually want it, or like am I doing it because she wants it, But then after the journey started and everything, I see a passion. I understand my purpose is that I am very good at observation. I'm very good at analyzing things, and I'm very good at conveying to my community. That's my strength. In for Indians, we say that's your dharma. That's your duty, that you are here. So if you understand that your passion, that you can do anything, you can do wonders, and your passion can make you a lot of money also at the end of the day. And then when I get into this, and then my family, of course, they were like, I thought you were going to, work here. I thought you were going to, get registered, get your APC, and I thought they're going to be work. But then that talk was so short because
you proved them wrong already at that point.
Everything that, as we are human beings, yes, all the other things are important lah. But to be very honest, as long as you have money, you have power. These two things rules everything. And when you have these two things, you can make everything else happen for you. So as a young doctor, you can be a person that you want to say that you want to sacrifice your life to medicine, and you want to like give out everything to people and everything. But in a world where it's running, everything is happening so fast, AI is taking over, technology is taking over, at one point doctors are not needed. Doctors are not needed. You're fooling yourself if you think you're needed. No profession will be needed. So you, in this era,
no humans will be needed also.
Yeah, only we humans need AI lah. But so at one point of time, you see that and when these things are happening, already started to happen, surgeons are now, robots are doing surgeries.
True.
It's more precise actually compared to like a human hand. So when you are so replaceable, what holds you to not progress? What holds you to create new passion? So what I would say that rather than sit at one place, because I have a lot of my cousins who studied at medicine, and one of them went so depressed and suicidal and all that, the way they were treated in government hospitals and everything. I understand. See, but then you don't stop. You don't stop because nothing is going to stop for you. Everything is moving so fast. You understand that drill. You keep on growing, you keep on moving, and you keep on thinking how you can make use of whatever that's happening to you. And taking that, understanding that you have to make use of what's happening to you creates a new opportunity. Rather than dwelling inside. Feeling like, it's not enough. So rather than you do that, you dwell outside. Like rather than dwelling inside, you think that, this is actually what's happening for me. And that's going to create a new opportunity. That's a problem that I'm facing so that I can create a new opportunity. Example, if there is an obese patient, that creates an opportunity for me to open Nutrilavish.
Understand.
So because even though I can talk very sentimentally and understand that, because I want to use this chance to, even if it's a doctor, a new doctor is watching, a new medical student is watching, take every opportunity that comes your way. Just take it, whoever you are, because at the end of the day, now, before that, to be a millionaire in Malaysia, you have to be 35. Now, 18 years old isn't a millionaire. And if you're going to work for 4,500 and dwell inside and think who's going to pay off your loan, that's your own problem.
Transform.
Yes,
Transform.
You have to.
And last one to the Indian community, especially female. I think you are definitely an inspiration to them. You are definitely, in terms of how you see yourself contributing to the community. One, how you see yourself as an educator. Another, and the third one I see is how you see yourself as evolving this business market. Because I feel that there are very few Indian female entrepreneurs. We have a lot of racial stigma. We won't be accepted by the mass community. All of this kind of thing. But I think what you showed them is like, look, from the lowest extreme point, you can actually climb up to the highest mountain if you wanted to.
Yes.
You just have to believe in yourself and don't let whether your family tell you no, don't let whether your spouse tell you no, don't let the other people around you who are the biggest chunk of the community tell you, we will not, you need to prove the point that you can actually climb that hill. And any message for them?
For young,
if you want to say it in Tamil, so please go ahead, no problem.
For Indian women, especially, I see that, yes, we are recognized. Indian women, if we look at Indian women, we are recognized. It means they say you are a good woman if your child is good. You've been recognized that way, and we have been, this has been like the entire tradition culture has been, this is a pattern. If your child didn't do good, that every blame goes to the mother. So because of that pressure, all of our attention is being put to a child. Understand one thing, no one in this life is your responsibility except yourself. No one. If you have a child, you are only there to give them support. They are not your responsibility. Your parents are not your responsibility. You have to support them, but they are their own person. They are responsible for themselves. I think that we have a lot of sentimental kind of stigma, like, my God, like something, if he went and fall on a bike.
You fell.
Yeah, I fell. Why did I let that happen? Excuse me, it's okay. It's okay. And I think that you have to grow that. And when you started to feel like, whatever that happens, and also understand that children would not listen to you. They learn from seeing you. They learn completely from visual, not from auditory. So rather than making them sit down and say, Amma evlo kastapadra theriyuma, rather than talking like that, you show that you are a powerful woman, that you will bring up a powerful kids. So I hope that every woman started to understand that, because we are so into making them sit down and always. There's another thing that I hate, that they say that you have to show your kids how hard is life. Don't you think that if you show them how hard is life, or how easy is life, if I show them how easy is life, when they go out of me, like when they grown up, their life will be too easy, or they couldn't know how to actually survive in the real world. No, whether you show them easy or hard, when they grow up, their life is going to be hard. So forget about showing them how hard is your life. Forget about sitting and talking to them like, Amma ivlo kastapara, Amma ivlo cook pandra, Amma ivlo kastapara.
The drama lah.
The drama, no. You show them that you made it.
You do the right things.
Yes.
Just watch.
Just by showing that you made it will make them succeed. It happens to me, even though my parents are not multimillionaires, but every of their inch of their life, they risked their life doing multiple of businesses, even though it didn't succeed. But I see that, and that created saying that nothing should stop you. No pandemic should stop you, because pandemic is where I even though the school I lost, I literally made so much money. I made millions because of the pandemic, because I took opportunity in a place where there is problems. And if people could understand that, they would be somebody. And as women, I'm telling you, father is there, man is there, they will do their thing. It's okay, great. But children grow, every inch of the children's personality grow because of the mother.
Agree.
So as a mother, if you can grow and be responsible for yourself as a woman, then your children will be also responsible.
So, thank you. I think the belief mechanism is very, very important. Yes. For mothers to trust their instinct and not just like forget about themselves. I think they put themselves first.
They think that they can stop everything. They can stop from children falling. They can stop from children doing mistakes. They can stop from everything. They can even stop from their husband looking at other women. They feel like if they are such a good wife. No. You can only stop all that when you start taking care of yourself. When you started to make something out of your life. When them stop thinking that you are nagging them and actually look at them and say, hey, she's actually busy. She's actually doing something. She's actually moving. Now that builds a new kind of respect on you, and then that builds a new kind of value for about you to them.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree. Dr. Kalai, once again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for everyone, kepada semua yang tengah tonton. Harap maklum memang konten ni memang hampir semua dalam bahasa Inggeris, tapi Lesung Batu kena bawa diversity yang pelbagai. Dengan juga siapa-siapa kita terampilkan dalam episod kami, sehingga kita bertemu di next episode. Jangan lupa untuk like, follow, subscribe YouTube channel Lesung Batu Medic Show, TikTok dan juga Facebook, sehingga kita berjumpa di episod yang akan datang. Kita lesung kau-kau.